Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. It's the typical boring Saturday. Also here on the Ethereum chart, we are currently just sort of constrained by this pattern. I did look at this pattern earlier today and said, okay, we might really be in this diagonal pattern here. Let me just move that across here. We might be in that diagonal pattern. An Elliott Wave diagonal pattern oftentimes is constrained by such trend lines. However, it would really need to sell off now, otherwise it will get a bit strange. So we can look at this as A, B, C in wave 1. And then we had our wave 2 here, and then A, B, but now we would need to sell off, otherwise we might break that pattern to the upside, which would lead to a higher wave 4. At the moment, we think the wave 4 ended here. But yeah, A, B, and we would now need to sell off in a C wave. And then we could form that third wave. Then we should get a fourth and a wave 5. And that fifth wave ideally would send us below that larger third wave. So that's the ideal roadmap. But of course, because we are moving here in corrective structures, in three-wave structures, we have to be flexible at the moment. Best to focus just on the decision point, the pivot point, which is at 1847. As long as we stay below 1847, well, I will remain short-term bearish, but a break above that would invalidate this imminent downside scenario, this direct sell-off scenario, and it would unlock prices well, a little higher, possibly first of all the way up to 1887, this swing high here. That would give us a higher wave 4. That's the first scenario. We could look at that as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave in a higher wave 4, or WXY might even be more likely. Depending on how high it goes, I think if it goes above that swing high here, we can consider a higher B wave. Explained that in the previous video. That would be painful because only as soon as that B wave top is in, we can get a C wave afterwards. That will take many, many months to play out. Yeah. Something bullish is also possible, but I need to see price prove it. Yeah, because the only way to make a bullish breakout from here possible out of the current structure would be as part of a diagonal. So I would consider this as a wave 1. I would consider this as a wave 2. And the wave 3 would also be a three-wave move, possibly as an A, B, C structure. Then there would be a 4 and a wave 5. And only when these 5 waves are done, we can count a wave 1. Then we look at an ABC pullback in a wave 2. And so it goes, right? But therefore, it really is all about should we break above 1847, we need to be watching if we get 5 waves or only 3. If we get only 3, another low is expected. If we get 5, then we can look at a deeper pullback, but a higher low, and it might be a breakout, and we have another trade set up to the upside here. Because if we get 5 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get that ABC structure down, should make a higher low, could provide another entry point to go higher. Yeah. So that's sort of the situation. At the moment, we are constrained by this pattern. We're just touching that resistance line here, and this is another pullback to the trend line. Well, it's not a resistance line, it's a trend line. If we break through here, that could send us up to that 1847 level, where we'll have the next decision point. But obviously we had a few touch points now at this trend line, and if we get rejected here, it could send us straight down. So that's the decision here now. That's the key point, an absolute key point. Breaking above it would not necessarily be bullish, but could send us to 1847, would challenge certainly the immediate sell-off scenario. And ideally, I would like to avoid, in the current scenario, a break above the wave 2 high, which is here at 1835. So that will be the first, let's call it micro resistance. And unfortunately, there is not much more to add. There's one more thing I wanted to show you, because we talked about it in the Bitcoin video earlier today. Now let's do it in the Ethereum video as well. Looking at volatility, looking at that volatility ratio, which we can also get on the Ethereum chart. And also here, let me just, so, and also here it is very, very low. Yeah. So I can add here that support, the horizontal line. You can see the last time we were that low was in November, 19th of November, 18th of November, and then afterwards around the 23rd, 24th of December. So what does it mean? Volatility is extremely low at the moment. Yeah, we know that. But typically when volatility is so low, you start to see some impulsive price movements. Here we had it then in November. It was quite an impulsive time afterwards, or quite strong. That's when the rally actually started. And then here, end of December, you know what happened afterwards. Okay, so now we're again at the point where volatility is just dead. So it will come back to life, and then this could lead to kind of a nice breakout actually. Obviously, well, I can't tell you, do we go down or up? That's what the market needs to tell us. But it's usually the case that when we have boring price action like this, people switch off, or they don't observe the market. But this is actually a key time now, because if we get a break above 1847, it could send us how much higher in a B wave, for example, or even something more bullish. And if we follow the path down, it can send us to 1690, 1660, where we'll then have a chance to turn around and get that third wave rally done. So it will be interesting, but I think we have a few more days of pain, maybe even weeks. We'll see. I mean, it's been extremely painful, this whole range. I mean, if you look at this has been going on for a while now. I mean, we've been moving here since in this price range. I mean, even here in March, we were in that price range. So yes, we had a bit of a fake out here and another fake out, but basically since March. So it's about time something happens, but it takes as long as it takes. So I think the levels should be clear, the trend should be clear, invalidation levels, resistances, support should be clear. 1754 is, by the way, support. I think if we come down once more here, it should be sell-off in the yellow count, which is still the primary. 1754 will be next support. And then 1660 to 1690. But at 1690, there are a few extension levels that point to that level. Okay, that's my update about Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.